I want to ask you to elaborate then on Dark of the Moon, whatever you want to talk about it. Of course, as a first novel, how was it? What was your experience of it as a first novel? Are you pleased with it?
With the publication of it, with the reviews were fantastic. With film sales, foreign sale in Germany only, I'm very pleased. I mean, it probably made me more money because of the film than anything I've ever written. So that's a big thing. I really wanted to be rich. I really did. I knew I wanted to be rich.
After 19 novels without a paycheck, I would imagine that would.
Oh, yes, I wanted to be rich. But now I have to pay taxes, so I don't like it anymore. I'd rather be left alone. Yeah. But with Dark of the Moon, it's been a big, big disappointment for me for a lot of reasons. At the time I was reading John Updike and very enthralled with writing erotica, what I thought of as erotica, and the way that John Updike did it without being mushy. And so I got my tail in a crack because I'm writing all these things I think nobody's ever going to see. Very sexually explicit. And then it comes out, and my neighbors, and I'm in a predominantly primitive Baptist church is right across the creek, and I can just feel it. I love that church, and I love my people, so I'm very, very sorry that I've offended anybody with that, because it is sexually explicit, and it didn't have to be. It's kind of, to me, a hybrid in that it wants to be folklore, but it tries too hard to be erotica. Don't ask me why, because I don't know either. But during that time, I also, and I talked to you a little bit about this morning, I had agents involved. And I'm not blaming them for the whole thing, but they were often saying, well, maybe this will sell better. Maybe you could punch it up here and punch it up there, and also an editor who was doing that too later. But, I wanted to get published, and it was kind of like selling your soul to the devil.
It was Sanctuary. Your experience of Sanctuary,
yes.
The Sanctuary novel.
It said that people aren't either pissed off or passed out. I'm so impressed with that. Right. I don't know how the reviews were so good on that book, though, because I don't even like to think about that book anymore. It's an embarrassment. I need to go back and read it. Maybe it's good. I don't know. It's been a long time.
I read around in it whenever we were doing the papers. I would read this parts of it and that parts of it and the other parts of it. So I need to read the whole thing from beginning to end, because I read all these different version parts leading up to it, but I never sat down with the novel and went completely front to back. Yeah. So I have parts of it floating in my head.
Unfortunately, as an author, when you get your books published, you've memorized them. You almost know which page on where something can be found, because you've read from them, you've edited, you've line edited, you've done so much with them that they are just burned into your soul, burned into your skull.
Right, and we had that experience going through your papers. I mean, the book we didn't have to worry about. The book was a thing in and of itself. Yeah. You put it in the back of the box, you write a number on it, see, and the book is fine. You know what's in the book, and they tell you. But for the papers, we had to read the papers, and if they weren't completely in order, we had to guess. So we have burned into our minds beginnings and changes, and like, oh, well, you changed this, and you changed that. Yes. And that was one of that to me made it the most fascinating thing I've ever done with anybody's writing, and it was specifically this novel, which I'd like to ask you about, because I saw so many changes in it.